Hey guys, a couple weeks ago, Skybin.trade on Amazon reached out to me and said that they had just gotten a new weapons mounted light and asked me if I would take a look at it and give my thoughts on it. And the light is here. It's a Klarus GL1. And for those of you that aren't familiar, I've actually done a few other videos on some Klarus lights, and they make super high quality. This XT21X is probably one of my best handheld lights that I have. And then I actually use their headlamp here too. This is the H1A PL. It's got white, an auxiliary white, and a red LED. Make really good stuff. So what comes in the package is the light itself. We'll go over that obviously. A user manual. There's an Allen key, and then like the 1913 rail and a couple little screws in there, and then a micro USB charging cable. Some quick specs on it. It's a 600 lumens, whether you have it on or on strobe. Runtime is an hour. It says a half hour for the strobe. I haven't actually tested that to keep it running the whole time. Typically strobe is longer than what constant on is, because strobe, the light's only on half the time basically. That beam distance is 83 meters, which is just over 90 yards. Light itself is just over 2 inches long here, just over an inch in height, and just over an inch in width. And it weighs right about 2 ounces. I brought out a couple Olight weapons mounted lights just to kind of show that I think that this Klarus kind of shares some of the features from both of these Olights. This is the PL Mini, PL Mini 2. Like looking at them from the front, like the screw heads, the design, a lot of that stuff looks very similar. And then when you look at like the LEDs and the size of the lens and stuff, this one looks very similar. But the Klarus does have some pretty unique features that I'll tell you about here in a second. But just kind of wanted to show you kind of how they match up to these Olights. So to clamp this on your rail, you do not need any tool at all. You could use a coin, but it's not even necessary. It's very easy to grab onto that thing and turn it by hand. No problems at all with that. Here's probably one of the most unique features about the entire light. Is this little, where the key is, this basically will slide to any position. You can slide it manually, or you can slide it once it's on the gun, but you can see how that'll just move along. So I really like that feature, and I'll go over that whenever I go to mount it. It's got dual controls, left and right, and it has right here, this little spot is a battery indicator. So when you first turn the light on, that'll come on green. If your battery's getting low, it turns red. And then it's got micro USB charging, which some people complain about the Olights because it's that magnetic charging. If your charger breaks or you've got to get another charger through Olight for these, whereas this, any micro USB cable will work for it. And I'll take that open just to show you the port there. It's just a regular micro USB. Wanted to quickly show you that PL Mini 2. It has a similar design, but the entire thing here slides. Instead of just the key sliding, the entire clamp or whatever slides on it. So mounting this thing is pretty easy. You just loosen up that screw a little bit, take the key, find the rail spot, get it to where it's basically on there. And now obviously this looks weird right now. There's a big gap and a lot of space between here. And if you just try pushing it back, it won't move because it's like semi-locked on there already. So there's a spring here, and if you push in the spring and then you slide it back, then it basically goes all the way back, and then you just tighten it down. And once you get it all the way tightened, it is solid. There's no wiggle, no movement, nothing out of that. So controls are very, very easy. It's similar to a lot of other weapons mounted lights where basically if you want constant on, you just press down on either side and then quickly release. So just like that, and shut it off, it's the same thing. If you wanna have it to where it's a momentary on, you just press and hold, and then when you're done, you let up. And there's also a strobe feature where you press down twice fast. All right, and then obviously the controls work on the right side as well. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I've had this for a couple weeks now, and I had a really hard time getting the constant on to stay on this left side. It worked fine right out of the box on the right side. And I probably have done this like, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 times, a bunch. And now it seems like it works fine. But the first day or two that I had it, like it might take me 10 times to get that constant to stay on. And it does, the controls seem a little bit looser now. They were super stiff and very difficult to press down when I first got that. Wanted to show you the little battery indicator. So you turn it on and then you can see that green light, and it shuts off after just a few seconds, like maybe 5 seconds or something like that. So, and that would be red if the battery's getting low, and you can easily charge while it stays mounted to your firearm here. The original PL Mini was basically designed to fit compacts like Glocks and MMPs and the Beretta PX4 Storm there, but it won't fit any type of subcompacts really at all. It won't even get close to lining up. And whereas the PL Mini 2, it will fit most of these subcompacts. And as you can see, that lines up pretty good and goes right on just about even with the muzzle there. Looks pretty good on there. So the Klarus, it'll fit on here as well. I will say that you have to spend some time getting that key to line up with your rail spot. So there it's on there, and again, this one maybe sticks out a little bit further than what the Olight did, but not by much. And then once you get it locked down, same as on that Beretta, it locks down real tight and there's no movement or anything like that with it. So again, the controls work from either side. Looks pretty good on that little Ruger SR22. So the original PL Mini, I think those still come in at $80. The Mini 2, I think they're at $90. And the new Klarus that just came out is coming in at $80. So it's basically the same lumens as the 2, but you also get strobe with this for $10 cheaper than the 2. So it's kind of better value for that. Klarus does make super, super high quality lights. One thing I will mention is that they do only carry a 2-year warranty. Olight carries, I think, a 5-year warranty on their stuff. I mean, I've never had to submit anything for warranty, but it is something to consider. So my biggest complaint with this GL1, and it might be something just to kind of get used to, but you can see here on how on the Olight, there's almost like 3 or 4 little, it's almost like a stepped control. You can see how each side there, how it goes up, and it looks like it kind of gradually gets a little bit higher till you get to the inside. And it's the same thing on this other one here. There's just a real gradual step. When you lay your finger on this, your entire finger hits the entire control, and there's no like sharp spots. Like your finger touches from edge to edge, no problem at all. All right. But the new Klarus here, the stepping is severe on it. And this inside is super, super sharp on both of them. And when you put your finger down, that's actually the only spot that's basically touching is on that highest spot right there. It doesn't touch the rest of the control. And I don't want to sound like a wuss, but like it's actually somewhat difficult to press down because you're only pushing on this one spot instead of across the entire control. Definitely my biggest complaint about that. It's just like it steps up super high and it just feels uncomfortable when you go to hit it. And there's been multiple times, especially with my trigger finger, that when I'll slide down, it doesn't actually activate it. Like I'm pushing it hard right now and it's there, it just came on. But that needs to kind of, I don't know, I might even like file that down myself, just to shave some of that off. So I'm pushing on the entire lever at the same time. That's definitely my biggest complaint with the whole light. So at $80, I definitely believe that it's a worthy competitor to the Olights and Stream lights. I've had some from Enforce as well. The quality is definitely here on it. Just a couple little quirks. You know, it's somewhat difficult to line up that key on some of the rails. It takes you a little bit of playing with that to get it to where it matches up right. But overall, I really do like the light, and it mounts, like I said, to just about anything. So, all right, guys, just wanted to share that with you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.